What's up guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Ali and today I'm back with another story time video. Okay then. Okay, so kidnapping. Scary shit, right? People are sick creatures, but you know, it's something that we only hear on the news and doesn't really happen to us. But this horrible thing has almost happened to me 3 freaking times. What the hell? I am not even 20 years old and I have almost been kidnapped, legitimately, 3 times by men. Good job, man. Good job. I've almost been kidnapped 3 times. Horrible, but let me tell you the stories. Number 1. Okay, so the first time was I was with my best friend at the time and me and her were like, we need to go on the internet, but she didn't have Wi-Fi, so we were like, let's go use McDonald's free Wi-Fi. So being as stupid as we were, we decided to go to McDonald's at like nighttime, so it was like really dark outside, but it's like just up the road from her house. So her house, walk like 10 minutes, there's McDonald's. So we were like, it's gonna be cool, McDonald's free Wi-Fi, we're gonna have a good night, it'll be awesome. And okay, so this was in year 9. So my year 9, so yeah. We were still young, we were still like 14, 15, like we weren't adults. And we're just walking, we're like, yeah, free Wi-Fi time. Get on our way to McDonald's. So we're sitting down having a good time, and then McDonald's Wi-Fi is shit, takes 1 hour to load one thing, so we get bored, decide to go home, and as we're walking home with our ice cream, so we're like having fun laughing, and then this guy starts following us, and like we're freaking out in the inside, but we're laughing on the outside because where, you know, when you're with your friends you just laugh even if the situation's completely horrible, but that's what was happening. So me and her, we're walking, we're laughing, but this guy's like briskly following us and he goes, hey, and first I'm like, just ignore it, but then like we both burst out laughing, which I know is really bad because we're kind of like making it a joke, but we didn't know what to do. So we both burst out laughing, and as we're walking there's a set of units and there's like this little square block and it's all like lights in there, so we just walked into there. Like it's a dead end, you're trapped in there, but we saw lights, so we walked in there and we're just laughing, and then he stops and he's like, hey girls, what are you doing? What are you up to? Like in that deep serial killer voice. And we're just laughing, like we look like we're on drugs or we're drunk as hell, but we're just normal, but we're just laughing because I think we were so frightened that our body's defense mechanism just made us laugh like crazy people, and that's basically what was happening. So we're just laughing with our ice creams, and like, I don't know what we were doing, we were wearing like pajamas and like slippers, and we were like mucking around and we acted like, oh, we're doing nothing, we're just chilling, you know, having a good time. And then he was like, oh cool, so do you guys want to come out? Like, do you want to live somewhere? Do you want to do this? And we were like, no, our house is just around the corner, we're cool. And he was like, no, like I insist. And he like wouldn't let us like get out of that block. So eventually we just grabbed, like I grabbed her hand. Actually, I don't know, she either grabbed my hand or I grabbed her hand, but one of us grabbed the other's hand and we just bolted out of there, like pushed him out of the way, and we just legged it. And then, you know, thinking, like, laughing, how funny was that? And then the mother fricker starts chasing us. Like, he doesn't just be like, oh, damn, they outsmarted me. He's like, just starts bolting down the street after us. And that, at that instant, I was like, my life is over. It was so scary to actually hear him right behind us. And then that just made us run faster. And then and then the laughing turned to crying. And we were just screaming down the street, and then he's running and he's so much faster than us. Like he almost caught up to us, and then his phone, like he's on his phone as he's running and he's like, bring the car, I've got girls. And we were like, oh my dear Lord Jesus Christ in heaven, amen. What the hell is going on? And then we're still bolting, and eventually like he's gonna catch up to us, and we're freaking out, and he's bringing a car now and other guys. We're deserted, we're in a really shady suburb, it's pitch black, and we're 2 young girls, and we drew attention to ourselves because we were laughing so loudly in the middle of the night, holding a laptop. Yeah, thinking about it now, we were stupid, but still, fun memories. And then eventually my friend, she was like, let's just knock on some random person's house and pretend we live there. So like we go and we knock on this guy's house, and he comes out and we tell him what's happening, and he stands in front of us and he goes, what the fuck are you doing? You're chasing these girls for? And the guy instantly like turns around and runs the other way. And we were like, whew. and he tells us, you know, you shouldn't be out at night. He gave us one of those like old people lectures, like be careful, where do you live? And then we only lived like 3 houses down, like 1, 2, 3, just like it was basically right there. So then as we're walking to her house, we're holding hands, we're still scared, but we're calming, and we're scared that we're going to get in trouble from her mum for some reason, like if we tell, so we're not going to tell anyone. And then we're walking, and then there's like a crate at the front of her house, like not her house, and then on the side there was like a crate, and there was a guy sitting there, and he was on the phone, and it was the guy, and like he was outside her house, like that's where he was waiting to get picked up, and we see him and we scream at the top of our lungs, and he gets up and he like goes forward to us, but then he realizes that's our house as we're running and screaming to the house, and then he gets up and he runs the other way, and then her mum hears and she comes out, and her dad hears and he comes out, and then they get in the car searching for this guy, and we're just like so scared. And yeah, it was a very traumatic experience to be that young, like 14 years old. But see, this is why you don't go out at night and you don't go to get McDonald's free Wi-Fi. Just get your own Wi-Fi, please. Moral of the story, don't use McDonald's free Wi-Fi. Okay, so story number 2, that's 4, but whatever. Story number 2 of when I almost got kidnapped was another time I was with a friend. And we were, me and her were like, after that incident, I would never ever go out at night. Like I was terrified of going out at nighttime. So then we would always make sure we were home by like 5 p.m. before it got dark. Never went out at night time. If we went out in the day, like we made sure we were going to get home. But this one time, we didn't take into consideration that it was track work day, so no trains were going, it was only buses. And me and her, we don't catch buses, so we did not know what to do. And it was like already like an hour to it before it got dark, and we were really scared because we didn't want to be out at nighttime, because she was afraid of nighttime, and after what happened to me with my other friend, I never went out at nighttime. And we're at a station, we're at a suburb, like a bus stop place, and it was going to take us to the next place to get to the next place. Like where we were on the train, it was only a couple stops, but with buses we had to change a lot. So we were at one place at a bus stop, we were just hanging out, and this guy kept staring at us, and like I told her, I was like, he's staring at us, and she was like, don't worry about it, he's not, relaxed, don't freak yourself out. And I was like, but he was, like, you know when you have the hair on your neck and you can just tell like this person is staring at me, and he made me feel really, really uncomfortable. Excuse me. And he was sitting down and he still kept staring at us, and this time she noticed and she was like, yeah, he's definitely staring at us. And he like was staring at us, and he was on the phone, and like from like the corner, like, you know, like a little bit you could get conversation. He was describing our appearance. So he was saying, you know, oh, red hair, short, like saying like little things about our appearance and what color clothes my friend was wearing. And like that was really freaking shady and weird, and we were like, what the hell is going on? And like we should have told the bus driver or someone right then, but we just felt like, what if we're wrong and we're just making a big deal out of nothing? So then we just got off straight away at the next stop. And then he like, as soon as we got off, he looked confused, and he stayed, and he just looked on his phone, and we're like, okay, we're free of that guy. So now we're at a random place, and we're gonna have to catch a bus to another place so we can both get home. So as we're walking, we see there's a train stop that has one stop before you need to get a bus. So we go to the train station to catch a train to get on the bus. So basically, I feel like I'm not making any sense, but some trains were working, but some weren't, because there was track work, so they were working on like trains and stuff, and only buses were going. But the station that we got off, there was a train that was working, so we're going to catch a train to go to the next bus stop to get home. And as we're getting there, there's these 2 guys that turn the corner, and they're staring at us, and they're wearing like leather jackets, and they look like really like, they look like kidnappers. You just get kidnapping vibe from it. It's like they shop at Kidnappers R Us or some shit. And like they're walking, and then they're standing where you choose where you want to go to buy the ticket, and they're taking so long. They're just like doing this, and we're like, okay then. And then he's like, you ladies can go in front of us, we're taking a while. And we're like, oh, thank you, that's nice of you. So we pick our station, and as soon as we stop, get our tickets, and then they walk up and they know exactly where they're going. All of a sudden they press exactly the same station that we're going to. Like, and then I got instant like goosebumps, like, yep, they're gonna kill us, we're gonna die. And by this time it's dark now, it's pitch black outside. So we're walking, we get there, and they're like just sitting staring at us like this, like. Nah, they're not doing that. They are staring at us, like giving us like creepy like looks, and then they're looking away when we look at them. And we get on the train, but they don't get on the train. They just watch us get on the train, even though they picked the stop we're going to, and they just stayed on the phone staring at us. So we got on, we sat down, and like she felt really uncomfortable. She was breathing heavily. She was like, I feel like I'm being watched or followed, and so did I. And I was trying to protect her and keep her calm because she was my best friend. And then when we got to the station, we were sitting down, and then the first original guy from that bus, he was standing right, like as the train stopped. He knew the exact carriage we were in, and he was standing right in front of the door looking at us. And then my friend just screamed, like she just, in the middle of the train, she just screams, and this guy doesn't, like, he doesn't make a move, like he doesn't flinch or anything, he just stares at us. And then as the doors are closing, we walk out, and then like he's like, we walk around him and he's just staring at us, and then like it's pitch black, there's no one on the station, and then just as the doors are about to close, he's walking towards us. We quickly ran on the train just before the doors closed, because he didn't take into consideration that we're going to get back on the train, but we waited for it just to be like there, and we bolted onto the train. And he looked so angry, like he was like, what the? And like he didn't say anything, but he looked really angry, like he didn't expect that. And then we waited till we got like all the way like to like a really far away stop, told the train driver what happened, and then he like helped us out and everything like that. And that was the second time, and it was really scary, like to be followed by 3 different men and like knowing exactly where you were at that exact time. Like, and when we ran back onto the train, he looked so angry. Like I've never seen anger in someone's eyes. Like he stared at us, like he like, it's like he was growling, like it was so bad. And I was like, fuck you bitch, we got away, foiled again. That's right. Anyway, I'm saving the most I saved the most like, oh my god, one for last, because this is the one where it was the most scariest for me personally. And I still have like I get night terrors sometimes about this, like I get really terrified. This is like the worst one. So I was in a public place, middle of the day, just walking past my old primary school, and all of a sudden I feel like, it's a short story, but yeah, as I'm just walking, there's people like everywhere, and just as I'm walking, I feel 2 hands like just grab my arm and rip me into a car, just like pull me into a car. And like that feeling like, oh my goodness, like you didn't know what was going on. Like even thinking about it, I get really scared, just like, oh my god, why? And like, very bad. But I just feel someone grab my arm and yank me into a car. And that moment, like that is the scariest moment, because once they shut that door, like I could have been gone, and like that's it. But it's, you know how they say your adrenaline kicks in? It really did for me. Like I was instantly not like terrified, I was like survival mode, like get out of this car. And straight away I just like, there was no speaking between either of us. I didn't scream, I didn't do nothing. I just instantly got my elbow and I whacked it like anywhere where I was being grabbed. I just like hit it really hard. And then after I heard like a grunt, and because I know I'm in a public place, I straight away let out the loudest blood curdling scream. Like I screamed like, holy shit, giving Emma Roberts a run for her money, like scream queen to that shit, like loud as I could be. And then because it's such a public place, like there was people everywhere in the middle of the day, he like let me go and I bolted out of the car. And then this lady came up to me and she was like, what the hell, what happened, are you okay? And then I just started crying. I was like, oh my god. And then yeah, that was probably the hardest. Like I get I get like teary thinking about that, because that, like if you think about what could have happened, like if I didn't hit him, or he didn't let me go, or he just drove away straight away, like what could have happened? Like would I be here? Would you be watching my shit YouTube videos? Who knows? Who knows? Those two, like they could have been exaggerations, like you know what, maybe they weren't actually following us and we were like, you know, thinking that they were, but I really felt it. I felt the uncomfortable feeling, and when someone makes you feel uncomfortable in public, that's when you know that something's wrong. Because okay, I think my tummy's hungry and I'm gonna go eat now, but thank you guys for watching this story time video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up for all the times I almost got kidnapped. That sounds so bad. Don't like this video. Oh my god, I cry every time. But yeah, it was nice speaking to you guys again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, love you. Mwah. Kitty kisses. Poopy.